Hello and welcome to this episode of Sticky Note Marketing. I am your host, Mary Zarnecki, and this is your resource to figure out what is working now to build your brand, grow your business, and lead your team with confidence, even virtually. So today's topic is a very frequently asked question I get from a lot of both entrepreneurs, business leaders, professionals, which is all about personal branding. Mary, why do I need a personal brand? I'm not a celebrity. Or for those business leaders and professional who are still in corporate, do I really need a personal brand? I mean, I've got a job and maybe I want to get promoted or move to new opportunities, but I don't really need a personal brand. I'm not going to be, building my own business. Well, here's the thing, whether you're a professional, a corporate business leader, or an entrepreneur that is building your own business, having a personal brand is more important now than ever before. So if you are a professional or a corporate business leader, here's a really important tip I wanted to share. So 82% of Americans agree that companies are more influential if their executives, their leaders, have a personal brand they know and follow. And for all of you entrepreneurs out there, here's the thing. If you are the face of this business, you really are then a personal brand. So what I want to share with you today is a couple tips for building or developing a personal brand if you've already got one started. So this is important, like I said, whether or not you are building your own business, building your own company, leading a corporation, or is right now an individual contributor as a professional. So building a personal brand gives you a couple key things, really big benefits in today's society. Number one, it's going to showcase your authority. It's going to set you up as that expert, that go-to authority and expert in whatever niche, space, or specialty you want to focus on. It also opens up new opportunities, whether you're a professional looking for a promotion or to advance your career, or whether you are a business owner looking to gain new clients, generate new leads, and build your business. This personal brand gives you the keys to those new opportunities. And then also it helps you build stronger relationships. So when people know what you stand for, who you are, then it's easier for them to also recommend you. So whether you are looking for collaborators or connectors or someone to help you accelerate your career or build your business, building those stronger relationships is going to come from having this clear and easy to recommend or refer personal brand. So there are a few things that I believe truly go into building a really strong personal brand. And that is the fact that you've got clarity around what the brand is, you have a strong, consistent platform, and you have a very clear system for delivering value and then also continuing the conversation or building those connections in that relationship. So today I want to give you just a few keys that you can take away and start to apply right now to build or continue to build your personal brand. So first and foremost, that clarity around what it is you stand for. There is absolutely no point in building a personal brand that actually doesn't represent you personally. So when you're building this personal brand, before you start updating bios or creating podcasts or anything like that, sit down with yourself and get clear. What kind of opportunities do you want this to open up? What do you want people to think of when they come in contact or when they think about your personal brand? What associations do you want to have for it? What do you really truly want to be seen as the authority on or the expert in? Don't limit yourself based on those things that in the past people have come to ask you questions about or things you're known for now. That may be where you want to focus in the future, but it may not. So the insider trick here is that think about what you would like to have happen as opposed to what has happened so far. What do I mean by that? If you are a business right now that has been known for business coaching, general business coaching, and you want to specialize, you want to specifically work only with novice businesses, like just startup businesses, those are just getting out of the gates, then you can shift, you can change, but it has to come with intention. So we want to make sure that whatever personal brand you're building, that is going to match you, because there's no point, like I said, in building a personal brand that doesn't reflect you. So if you want it to be goofy and funny and it has it in the past, that's okay. Now you have to go forward with intention. The second thing I mentioned was your platform. What can you do to build a consistent platform? So when you are an authority, when you are an expert in something, you are adding your own voice. So a lot of folks that I start working with in terms of evaluating and then building their personal brand have come to me and said, oh, well, I've been posting a lot of content. I've been sharing a lot of content and I've been adding value. There's tons of things out there. And then when we go to look at their platform or their LinkedIn profile, as an example, they have been sharing a lot of information, but they haven't been adding their own voice, their own opinion, their own interpretation of what this means. So when you just get started, it's absolutely the easiest way to start kind of becoming a curator. You are the concierge of information that you're gathering as an expert and then bringing out to your audience. That's fine. You can share articles, things that inspire you. But here's the key. You have to then add your perspective. So if you find something from your industry that you want to share as a thought leader, you can share that other person's content or that other article, but then point out what it is that stood out to you. What did you learn? What is your interpretation? And actually, a fun way to do a little bit of this sharing is to actually share something that maybe you don't agree with 100%. And you can then say, okay, well, I think this makes really good points in A, B, and C. But what I think is being missed in this conversation is X, Y, and Z. And what that does is that allows you to bring your voice forward, your opinion forward, and starts to differentiate you from just a content curator to now a thought leader and an expert in this space because you're able to share your opinion. All right. So the other thing I want to share here is number 3. It's also about, well, now we're out there, we're sharing value, we're communicating, we're stepping into that spotlight as a thought leader. But how do we actually use this to get to those opportunities you mentioned, Mary? So whether, like I said, you're building a business, you're an entrepreneur, you're trying to generate leads or create connections that are going to turn into collaborators or champions or maybe even clients, or you're a professional trying to accelerate your career or a business leader trying to get to that next opportunity, what you want to be clear on is as you're sharing this, how are you going to either establish these new connections and what are you going to ask those that are consuming this valuable information you're sharing to do? So be very clear and intentional. What are the key things that you want to see people do, those behavior objectives? So when people come into contact and binge watch all of your videos or read all of your articles on LinkedIn or consume your podcast episodes time after time, what is it that you want them to do? Are you trying to bring them in to your network so that you can get your next opportunity for your career? Are you bringing them into your network so that they become a client and buy an online course or work with you individually as a consultant? So think about it. As someone finds you, once they start connecting with you through this engagement and this content you're creating, what do you want them to do? Because if you aren't clear about that as you're developing this platform, as you're starting to build or continue to build this brand, they're not going to know. So you need to be clear very specifically about what is it that you want those who come in contact with you to do. And it's okay to have a couple, but we don't want it to be unclear. So whether it's, I want them to join my email list, I want them to buy something right now, I want them to friend me, follow me, and let's get on a call together so we can talk about whatever it is you want to talk about with them. Be very clear about, as someone comes into your world, what is it that you ideally would love to see them do if you filmed their behavior? So getting clear about that is going to also help you figure out, okay, well, what kind of content do I actually need to put out there? So a couple of keys for you. Hopefully you got your sticky notes out and were writing down all of those things I shared. If you are speeding here to the end, just as a recap, it is a total myth that only celebrities and famous people need a personal brand. That is true. There are some great personal brands out there. You can look at Richard Branson or Sarah Blakely. They are different than their brands, right? Richard Branson is different than Virgin. Sarah Blakely is different than Spanx. They have their businesses, their brands around those businesses, but then they also have their own personal brand that they're building that trusted expert, that authority platform around. And so for you, whether you are a professional, a business leader, or an entrepreneur building a business, it is important for you more now than ever before to have a clear personal brand. People want to know what you stand for, not just what a business brand stands for, but what you stand for. What authority, what expertise are you going to showcase? And you want to be clear on what that is. Step 1, get clear, because you don't want to build a personal brand that actually doesn't represent you. Number two, you want to pick that platform, create consistency. Where are you going to show up? What do you like creating? What information are you going to put out there that makes it enjoyable for you? Don't limit yourself based on what you're the expert in now. Build on that and be clear and intentional about what is it you want to be the expert, the go-to authority on in the future. And then last but not least, think about those behavior objectives. So when someone does find your content, when they do fall in love with your podcast, when they do start binge watching your videos on YouTube, whatever your platform content is, what do you ideally want them to do? What would you wish they would do next? Because if you're not clear on that journey that you want them to take or those behaviors you want them to take, how are you going to expect them to know? So having that clarity is really important. So looking forward to chatting with you on the next episode of Sticky Note Marketing. If anything I said today triggered something for you, brought up a question, an aha moment, a light bulb, I would love to hear from you. So we are going to drop a link in the show notes here to join us over in my private community. Over there, share with us, what was your key takeaway? What is your next step in terms of either building or growing your personal brand? Looking forward to chatting with you next time. And I'm Mary Zarnecki signing off for Sticky Note Marketing.